Almost nobody stocks this shell. The math says they're wrong and missing out on the best shotgun shell ideal for self-defense, training, and large game hunting. The number 1 shell. Right now, if you walk into any gun shop and ask for a defensive buckshot, an employee will hand you a box of double-aught buckshot without thinking twice. It is what the military uses. It's what police departments use. It's the name everyone already knows before they ever pick up a shotgun for the first time, and that reputation isn't bad. Double-aught buckshot is a genuinely capable round, but right next to it, carrying dust on the same shelf, sits something almost nobody ever reaches for. This is the number 1 buckshot. It is available in the same aisle, often at the same price, and according to independent ballistic testing that has been circulating in serious shotgun circles for over 2 decades, it is arguably better. It is arguably the better defensive round of the two. It doesn't just have a slight edge or a margin of error improvement, but a genuinely stronger case built entirely on numbers most dealers never even bothered to look up. Most shoppers never even bother to look up the math before grabbing whatever is more familiar off the shelf. We are not being contrary for the sake of being contrary. Here is what happens when you actually run the cross-sectional math instead of just trusting a brand name. Let's step out of the matrix and talk about what number 1 buck actually is. For those of you who don't know, buckshot sizing works backward from what you would expect. The smaller the number, the bigger the pellet. Number 1 buckshot sits right between double-aught buck and number 4 buck on the scale, with each individual pellet measuring roughly 0.3 inches in diameter and weighing around 33 grains. A standard 2 3/4 inch 12-gauge shell typically holds around 15 to 16 pellets of number 1 buck, depending on the manufacturer and the load. Compare that to double-aught buck, where each pellet runs slightly larger at about 0.33 inches, but a standard shell only holds 8 or 9 of them. If we compare it again with number 4 buck, where pellets shrink down to roughly 0.24 inches, a shell can cram in anywhere from 21 to 27 of them. At first glance, that might make double-aught buck look like the absolute behemoth here because it has bigger pellets that should be doing more damage, right? The case for number 1 buck, though, comes down to a single calculation almost no one runs before they buy: total cross-sectional area. That's the combined surface area of every single pellet in the shell added together, and it's a far better predictor of actual wounding potential than pellet count or pellet diameter looked at in isolation. The math doesn't lie, and once you hear the performance difference between number 1 buckshot and the competitors, you'll be shocked. Subscribe now because things are just getting interesting. The crazy math. Here's where the case for number 1 buck actually gets built, and it's not an opinion, it's reality. A standard 12-gauge shotgun shell of double-aught buck loaded with 9 pellets at roughly 0.33 inches, each produces a combined cross-sectional area of about 0.77 square inches. A standard shell of number 1 buck, when loaded with 16 pellets at roughly 0.30 inches each, produces a combined cross-sectional area of about 1.13 square inches. What does that mean? If you run that comparison, number 1 buck comes out roughly 30% ahead in total cross-sectional area, despite each individual pellet being a little smaller and there being more pellets. When those pellets are spread across a larger total wounding surface, while every single pellet still carries enough mass and velocity to do serious work on its own, it becomes a total powerhouse of a shell. That's not a marginal statistical footnote either. It is a much larger total profile than a 2 3/4 inch shell sitting on the exact same shelf, usually for the exact same price. This isn't just a theory that nobody has ever tested. The International Wound Ballistics Association has specifically identified number 1 buck as the smallest buckshot size that reliably and consistently penetrates 12 inches of standard ordnance gelatin at typical defensive engagement distances. That 12-inch benchmark is the exact same standard the FBI uses as its minimum requirement for acceptable defensive ammunition performance. Double-aught buckshot's case. None of this is an argument that double-aught buck is a bad round either. It isn't. It has been the standard for military and law enforcement use for generations, and for a lot of good reasons. The main reason is that it reliably penetrates deep with predictable patterns, and it is literally available everywhere, which matters enormously if you're stocking a duty belt or an armory shelf. There's real value in a round that every single retailer in the country carries in bulk, but the standard everyone uses and the best performing options available aren't automatically the same thing. In this specific case, they have quietly drifted apart. Double-aught buck became the default decades ago, largely through institutional momentum, military and police adoption, ammunition manufacturers scaling production around it, and shooters buying what their instructors trained them on. None of that is really about superior terminal performance. It's just about supply chains and what got more hype.
1072.
Number 1 buck never got that same institutional push. It's not what the military standardized on generations ago, and it's not what most police academies hand new officers. As a result, it never built the same manufacturing scale, which means fewer companies produce dedicated tactical loads in that size. That means fewer gun shops bother to stock it, and ultimately, fewer shooters ever get introduced to the round in the first place. It is a reputation problem, not a performance problem, and we are here to fix that. The round didn't lose on merit. It lost on momentum. It never had a fair shot at building. Number 1. Buckshot versus alternatives. This might seem like a simple double-aught buck versus number 1 buck comparison, but if you set double-aught aside for a second and look the other direction on the sizing chart, a lot of shooters gravitate toward number 4 buck specifically because it packs more pellets, sometimes up to 27 in a single shell. More pellets sound like a huge advantage that might cover more area, but in practice, testing tells a completely different story. Independent gelatin testing has repeatedly shown that number 4 buck doesn't consistently meet the 12-inch FBI penetration standard. Each individual pellet is small enough and light enough that it can lose too much energy just passing through heavy clothing before it ever reaches a meaningful depth. You end up with a shell that sprays a lot of pellets that simply don't carry enough individual mass to reliably do what a defensive round needs to do. Worse, testing also shows that number 4 buck can still punch through multiple interior walls, undercutting the common assumption that smaller pellets automatically mean safer, more contained shots inside a home. Number 1 buck sits in that narrow, genuinely useful gap between two problems. It has enough individual pellet mass and velocity to consistently clear the 12-inch penetration standard, unlike number 4, while delivering more pellets and a larger combined cross-sectional area than double-aught, without needing to jump to a pellet count that starts sacrificing per pellet performance. In other words, it's not a compromise. It's closer to a sweet spot that most of us are never shown because we never get past the double-aught buck display to compare it against anything else. Before we talk about the real reason why most people never stock the number 1 shell, subscribe to the channel, because the reason might be different than you're expecting. Why nobody stocks the number 1 shell? If the math is this favorable, the obvious question you might have is, why isn't number 1 buck sitting front and center in every single gun store? The honest answer has nothing to do with performance, and almost everything to do with market inertia. Ammunition manufacturers build dedicated, dialed-in tactical loads with tight patterning, optimized velocities, and aggressive marketing around whatever size has the most demand, which is double-aught buck. It is what departments order in bulk, what manufacturers advertise heavily, and what new shooters get pointed toward by default simply because it's the name they've heard. Number 1 buck largely exists in hunting-oriented loads instead, built with deer and hog hunters in mind rather than home defense. However, that doesn't make those loads ineffective for home defense use. Plenty of shooters have tested them and found them perfectly capable. It just means that there are fewer dedicated defensive options to choose from, less shelf space, and less brand recognition pulling first-time buyers toward it. You genuinely might have to special order it, which creates an availability problem, not a ballistics or performance issue. The limitations. Every single time a round like this gets defended this hard, a lot of other questions show up immediately. Let's talk about them one by one instead of pretending they don't exist. First, recoil. More pellets and slightly less pellet mass than double-aught buck sounds like it should translate to a different recoil feel, but in practice, the differences are minimal. A double-aught buck load and a number 1 buck load of similar total shot weight are close enough that most shooters cannot reliably tell them apart in a blind test. You aren't trading control for performance either. You are getting the improved cross-sectional numbers essentially for free. Second, pattern spread. There is a worry that more pellets mean a wider, less predictable pattern. At typical indoor distances, this actually cuts in number 1 buck's favor. Because the pellets are slightly smaller and more numerous, modern shot cups and wads designed for number 1 buck hold surprisingly tight patterns at 15 feet. Most home defense encounters happen at distances where a well-built number 1 buck load performs similarly to what you would expect from a well-built double-aught load using the same wad technology. Pattern performance comes down far more to the quality of the load than to the shot size printed on the box. Third, the logistics hurdle. It's fair to weigh availability against the performance advantage. Nobody is suggesting you drive to 5 different stores chasing a marginal edge. However, if your local store does carry it, or if you're comfortable ordering online, number 1 buck is an outstanding defensive load for you. Sometimes number 1 buck is actually cheaper than double-aught buck precisely because it doesn't carry the same tactical branding markup. Testing phase. If you are genuinely considering making this switch, don't just take the cross-sectional advantage on faith and load up your home defense shotgun without checking it yourself. Buy a single box first, head to the range, and pattern it at the realistic distances you would actually encounter inside your own home, typically between 7 and 15 feet. Use a full sheet of butcher paper or a large cardboard target so you can see exactly how tight or wide the pattern spreads. The math doesn't lie, and the ballistics advantage is real. This is the shotgun shell that nobody buys, yet it outperforms almost anything else you see on the shelf. Now we ask you the final question. Are you planning to switch to number 1 buck, or are you staying with your current load? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss more breakdowns like these.